Been a little while since I did a video update, so just a quick recap on what has happened and what's going to happen. The biggest news is, of course, the Kickstarter was successful, and it's a kind of a weird, not a weird situation, but an unusual one. It didn't go exactly the way I'd hoped, but in the end we got there. Up until the last day, it was about 6,000 short, and then I sent an email to a gentleman who had shown interest in investing, and we'd had a few meetings, and turns out it wasn't right for him, which I understand. But rather than give up, I sent him an email, explained the situation, and wrote a song about it. That's the Kickstarter song, so to kind of drive the point home. And apparently it worked. He didn't change his mind about investing the larger sum, but he did come in and save the day for the Kickstarter and brought in 6,000 to bring it over the edge. So very grateful about that. And now we have the funds to take the VST from where it is now as a pre-alpha or MVP, minimum viable product, all the way to beta. And I have a roadmap which I got from my development team, and things are looking pretty smooth. We're just going to go through. We've got a finite list of things to put into practice, and the first one on the list is going to be the Windows build for the MuseScore plugin, hoping that'll come through today or probably Monday. And then we're just going to go through and chip away at this list, and the funds are there, and things are going to go ahead. And in a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, I'm not sure the exact timeline, but it won't be long, because all the development funding is there, and things should go pretty smoothly. It's all mapped out very specifically what's going to happen and when. So I would say by, let's see, today is the 9th. By the end of the month, for sure, barring unforeseen technical issues, we should have a nearly fully functioning MuseScore VST. And what that means is very little user interaction in regards to things like export and import and MIDI files and MusicXML files and all that. So that's that. And it's looking very good, and we've got a very specific game plan, and we're going to go ahead and going to get it done. So thank you all who contributed to the Kickstarter, and things are going to move ahead very swiftly now, and that's the goal. So we have everything we need for the MuseScore plugin, because the update that came out a while back, I don't remember exactly when, gave us the missing pieces to do that. And the next step after we get that mostly finished is to do a VST plugin that works with Dorico and Sibelius. However, it's going to be a little bit different. It's not going to be as automated. You are going to have to export MusicXML and then drop it onto the plugin, the VST window. But that's only until those two companies come up with their own updates, which I still don't really know when that's going to be. They have confirmed that there are going to be updates that are forthcoming, but I just don't know when. But in the meantime, what it's going to basically mean is the web renderer is going to live inside the VST plugin for Dorico and Sibelius. So just imagine you've loaded a VST into Sibelius and Dorico, and you have the window, and you export the MusicXML and you drop it onto that. It's basically a web renderer, except it's going to play back the score from there. Sibelius might be a little tricky because the VST interface isn't quite what it needs to be to play in sync the way that we want it to, but I'm sure we can work something out. But Dorico, yeah, it should be just a matter of creating what amounts to a web-based renderer embedded into the plugin. So that will eliminate a lot of the runaround, because it'll play back right in Dorico, right in the mixer, so you can treat it just like any other VST. So that's that news, which is awesome. The next news is I'm releasing this weekend, hopefully, but for sure by the early next week, 2 new singers, non-operatic. They are, the best way I can describe them is kind of pop meets Broadway. Yeah, that's about as close as I can get. They're and they don't have names yet. Well, actually, one of them probably does, but I'm not going to post it yet until it's written in stone. But that's not important. The important part is they're 2 very high quality alternative to the operatic voices that we have now, and there will be 2 more coming about a week or so from after those are released. So by the end of the next week, we'll have a total of 4 voices, and the 2 that are coming out are the sort of pop Broadway type voices. The 2 that are going to come after that are going to be a little more edgy, a little more. I won't go so far as to say rock and roll or metal or anything like that, but they're going to have a little more edge to them. The 2 voices that are coming out soonest are a little lighter, a little more melodic. So those are going to be coming first. And I think that's about all of the news right now. So it's going to be a couple weeks of busy work until the plugin is ready for beta testing. Right now there are about, I think, 15 or 20 people with the pre-alpha. So far so good. The main complaint still is pronunciation, but again, this the pronunciation issues are almost entirely related to the fact that they're still parsing MIDI. But the updates that are coming in the schedule that I mentioned earlier in the next couple weeks, those are going to go away because it's the MusicXML makes it so much easier. Oh, I can't believe I forgot about this. One of the other things that's going to appear in the coming weeks with that's in this checklist, and this is just new today, is we are going to be putting out Latin support. So that is huge because I know that a lot of you have been very patient throughout this process waiting for Latin. I know because I'm very patient myself, trying to be, about getting Latin done. But we're going to be removing one feature from the development list in order to bump Latin up. But all that's going to do is just put it at the end of the development cycle. So yeah, that's it. Those are the big news items, and thank you all again, and I will talk to you next time.